All right, everybody, 20 members. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the session. I thank everybody for taking out your time, fixing and blocking your time to participate in this webinar. And I'm really excited to host this webinar for you people. And I know there are people who are joining from different parts of the country. So as this particular webinar is about the art of parent-teacher communication, balancing empathy and professionalism. So first thing first, let me start with my introduction because I guess there are some people who are joining this webinar for the first time and people who are joining for the second and the third time, they know me. My name is Amjad Razal. I work at Keystone Center for Innovation and Teacher Education as a head of research and programs. And for teachers, we have started this series of webinars, which we conduct on every Saturday. So if you want to learn something new, something different, or maybe just get a different perspective, you can register for these webinars on every Saturday at this time, 6 to 7 p.m. is when we conduct the webinars, and you can join the sessions. So we have 28 members now. Before I begin the webinar, I would like everyone, okay, to introduce themselves. Please use the chat. My name is Amjad Razal. I work at K-Site and this organization is in Hyderabad. I request everybody to please type in the chat your name, the name of the organization, and where you are joining us from. So quickly, just three things: your name, the name of the organization, and where you are joining us from. Once we have the introduction done by all the participants, we'll move to the next session. I mean, next part of the session. So please use the chat and let us know. Okay. Mrs. Sahala Raihana, Kohinoor English Medium School, Ulur. Okay, welcome to the session, ma'am. Okay. Leena Shandilia from Bal Bharati Public School, Nishadpur, Bhopal. Thank you and welcome to the session. Nisha Kiran, Kohinoor English Medium School, Mangalore. Thank you and welcome to the session. Archana from Paul Public School, Trivandrum. Welcome to the session. Asta Yadav from Bal Bharati Public School, Bhopal. Welcome to the session. Akanksha Mishra from Bal Bharati Public School, Bhopal. Thank you and welcome to the session. And we have Piali Surpatra from Cambridge School, Srinivas New Delhi. Welcome to the session. Ashima Mehta, Cambridge School, Srinivas from Delhi. Thank you and welcome to the session. Shilpa from Kohinoor English Medium School, Mangalore. Welcome to the session. Good evening. Asma from Kohinoor English Medium School, Kolur. Thank you and welcome to the session. Aisha Noreen from Kohinoor English Medium School, Mangalore. Thank you and welcome to the session. Geeta, Kohinoor English Medium School. Welcome to the session. Miss Kiran Karande from Indo-British Global School, Pune. Thank you and welcome to the session. Akanksha Jain, Delhi. You are a curriculum developer and you are an entrepreneur. Thank you and welcome to the session. Pooja Mehta from Cambridge School, Srinivas. Thank you and welcome to the session. And we have Mr. Sandeep Sharma from Bal Bharati Public School, Bhopal. Thank you, sir, and welcome to the session. And Anur Selvi from Nava International School, Muthur. Thank you and welcome to the session. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing some of the names. Please excuse me for that. Sarita Yadav from Bal Bharati School. Thank you, ma'am, and welcome to the session. Miss Komal, I guess, yeah, from Podar International School. Welcome to the session. Rana Siddiqa, Al-Falah School, Hyderabad. Thank you and welcome to the session. Anuradha Johnson Grammar School, Hyderabad. Thank you and welcome to the session. Ramya Gopinath from AIS English Medium School, Kerala. Thank you. Welcome to the session. Nava International School, Tirupur, Tamil Nadu. That is Mr. Maithi Vanan, I guess. Thank you and welcome to the session. Sunita Rani from Delhi Public School, Ghatkesar. Welcome to the session. And we have Sabah Nazdeen Al-Falah School. Welcome to the session. So how many? There are like 15, 20 members only who introduce themselves. We have 35 members. I request all the other members who have joined just now or maybe a minute ago, please use the chat. Let us know your full name, the name of the organization, and where you're joining us from. We'll do this for another 1 minute or two, and then we'll start the session. Quickly, I'm eagerly waiting to see the people who are joining from different parts of the country. So I'm really excited that there are people from Delhi, from Bhopal, from Pune, from Kerala, from Hyderabad. Some of them are from Mangalore and I mean, different parts of the country. Is that it? I'm not seeing any new messages. Other people, please. I would like to know where you're joining this session from. Yeah, we have one more. Pratibha Tiwari from Amber International School, Mumbai. Thank you and welcome to the session. Bhuvaneshwari from Bombay, founder of Engaging Minds 99 and a certified trainer in soft skills. Thank you and welcome to the session. All right, it's 6:06, so we'll start the session. Thank you everybody for introducing yourself. The reason we ask in every webinar to introduce because we get to know where you're joining us from, and also you would know where the host is from. Okay, so the people who join later, my name is Amjad Rizal. I work at KSITE, Keystone Center for Innovation and Teacher Education, as a head of research and programs, and this organization is in Hyderabad. So every Saturday we conduct these webinars for teachers. We do not charge any money. I mean, we do this as a service to the teacher community. So if you are interested to learn some different perspectives, new ideas, or refresh some of the things that you have already learned and you have been practicing, so you can join these webinars, register when we send the emails to everybody. And we also post this on LinkedIn, on other platforms. So you can register yourself and then Saturday, 6 to 7, block your time and join this webinar. All right, now let's start this particular session, and request everybody, the way you actively texted me in the chat, I would be requesting you to do it again and again whenever I ask you something. So first thing first, here there are a few basic setting of this webinar where you are keeping your microphone and your video on mute. Okay, and you can use the chat to quickly ask anything, clarification or doubts. You can use the hand raise emoji if you need any further clarification or a little more clarification on anything that I talk about. And keep your video on if your internet bandwidth is good, and please keep your video off if your internet bandwidth is not good. Okay, because we don't know the region where you live and how the internet connection is over there. And when you are asked to answer some questions, you can turn on your microphone and talk. You will have that opportunity, and make use of the time given for clarification in the end if you have any doubts left. So am I clear on this? Please give me a quick thumbs up in the chat. Everybody, come on. Give me a quick thumbs up. We have one more person, Kate from Sri Saraswati Public School from Maharashtra. Thank you and welcome to the session. So if the webinar setting is understood by everybody, so give me a quick thumbs up. I need a thumbs up from all the members. I just got only 4. Come on. We have 39 members now. I need a thumbs up from everybody. Okay, thank you everybody for giving me a thumbs up. Like there are like 8, 9 members now. Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving me this compliment. You made my day now by saying that. Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. And all the other people giving me a thumbs up, thank you so much. Let's move on to the next part. Okay. So this is the particular objective of this webinar. You are going to understand those communication strategies, okay, that will build a supporting learning environment in the schools. And you will also we will definitely equip you with some strategies that will build that trust and positive relationship with the students and also with the parents. And you would definitely apply these strategies that we are going to talk about to develop the students academically, socially, and also how to involve the parents, in a meaningful conversation, so that a lot can be contributed together to develop the students. So this is just a brief overview, the objective of what we are going to understand throughout this whole 1 hour. Okay, now this is something I love and I do in all the webinars, and I want you to actively tell me. Okay, so which word describes how you're feeling right now? Please let me know in the chat. Okay, some of you said curious. Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Satya, for saying that. And I need these responses from everybody. How are you feeling right now? What word describes your feeling right now? How you're feeling? Curious, we got one more. Just 2 people? Okay, energized, inspiring. Awesome. Curious. I need these responses from everybody because I want to know how you're feeling right now. Okay, I just want to do this so that your energy will definitely energize me also. We're sitting poles apart, different places. Okay, so yeah, curious. Many of you said curious, energized, inspiring. Okay, how many members do we have? 44 members. Come on, everybody, please just type in the chat and let us know if there is a word out of all these four, which word describes your feeling, how you're feeling right now. Natural, curious, inspiring. Okay, I got how many? 15, 16 responses, I guess. I request all the members to please keep your microphone on mute. Okay, that's it. I got the responses.
Aisha ma'am, Hiteshi, Lina, Sandeep, Gajja.
I asked you in the beginning, I mean, did you understand the webinar setting? Right? The rule was when you are allowed to communicate, to talk anything to me, that is when you are turning on your microphone. Okay, I know this must have happened by mistake, but let's not talk a lot about that. So thank you everybody for saying that. And now let's go to the next question, next part of this. So if your mood was an emoji, what would it be? How many of you love emojis, to describe your feelings and emotions? Like we all do, right? So now please send me an emoji. If your mood was an emoji, what would it be? Happy, sad, sleepy and tired, or you're angry? Okay, thank you everybody. I see like there are many people who are happy and like happy. Yeah. Wow. Just by sending your emojis, I get the vibe that you are now feeling awesome. You're happy. Okay, look at those amazing emojis. Wow. There is no thumbs up, Mr. Sharma, Mr. Sandeep Sharma. You have to use the emoji. Give me an emoji. I want an emoji from everybody. Yeah, there are many people who are using different emojis also, which I have not given here. Thank you so much for using. Okay, nobody's angry. Everybody is happy and sad. Wow, thank you for being honest. Somebody says, sleepy. You have had a very tiring day. So that's why, you are like feeling sleepy, I guess. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, everybody, for texting. And now the last thing, what is that one thing you're grateful for today or for this week? Please recall that experience you have had maybe with the students or with your principal, your school leaders, or with some of the parents who came to your school and they gave you a compliment. What is that? Maybe just professionally, or you can also respond to this as personally, like something has happened in your life that really made you happy. Maybe you bought a car or something. What is that one thing you're grateful for today or for this week? Got holiday today. Oh, I got you. Today's sports day was great in school. It made me happy. Wow. Students, my daughter, and family. Awesome. I need responses from everybody. Positive, inspiring associations. Yeah, great. Helping others. Wow, that's a really nice thing. New learning experiences. Very good perspective. Thank you for sharing. Come on, others also. Voting day. Oh, you're from Mumbai. Okay. One of our students said that our lessons are helping her. That is really nice feedback you have got from your student. Okay, awesome. Was overwhelmed with invigorating and marking exams. Nothing interesting. Thank you for being honest. Yeah, it happens. It's life. Sometimes, we are happy. Sometimes we are sad. Sometimes we are angry. Okay. But the way we like to balance things, okay, the way we prefer balancing our emotions, feelings. Okay, sometimes we are too excited, sometimes we are too sad, sometimes we are angry. The same way, with the learners and also with the parents, we need to understand how do we balance that. Okay. Okay, there are other people also, like rise by lifting others. Excellent. New learning, always want to learn. Awesome. I like your icebreaker activity. Thank you so much. This is making me happy now. I'm really excited. Thank you so much. Excited due to my online course class that happens in each weekend for 3 hours. Wow, that's good. I mean, great if you having your learning thing. Busy schedule, busy. Okay, that's it. Thank you everybody for responding. I'm really, really excited. There are 45 members. Somebody just said discuss sports day with principal. It was exciting. Okay, great. Thank you for mentioning all that. Now we are moving to the next part of this webinar. So now I want you to reflect on these questions, and you can use a chat to let me know what that is. Okay, that experience is. Can you recall a recent interaction with a parent that went exceptionally well, that went really well, or maybe it did not go well? Okay, what do you think that made it happen? Think about it for a moment and let me know in the chat. Just recall an experience, okay, a recent experience you have had with a parent or maybe a group of parents. Okay, that conversation went really well. Okay, and maybe it happens sometimes that did not go well. So what do you think made that happen? Went normal. Okay. Or you did not meet the parent recently, maybe it must have been like 1 month ago or 2 months ago. I don't know the situation at your house. So what I'll do is I'll give you two other questions, so you can answer any of these three also if you want. On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident do you feel in your ability to communicate effectively with your parents? Do you feel that yeah, somebody said motivating conversation, great. So if you feel that you deserve 10 out of 10, hats off to you. You have to be honest, okay? And if you say 4 because I have to work a lot on my communication skills with the parents, you can also mention that. Or maybe you can answer the third question, that is, what do you think is the biggest challenge parents, face when communicating with teachers, and how can you address it? Yeah, thank you everybody for mentioning. 6 out of 10, 6, 5 out of 10, 10. No, it was not at all challenging. Okay. That means you know how to balance the conversation, and you know how to win the conversation. Great. 9. Awesome. People who are saying 9 and 10, I would definitely would like to, meet those people in person as well and understand some of the amazing strategies you people are using, so that, I can share those strategies with the other people also. So that's how we learn, by sharing the knowledge and information with each other. Okay, great. Somebody said 7 out of 10. Somebody said 6 out of 10. Awesome. Changes in mind, changes in the child. Yes, that could also be a challenge that the parents will find, challenging. So now, other people, please let me know in the chat. There are 45 members, and I'm seeing only few members who are actively participating. Okay, 10, 8. Awesome. 4 out of 10. Okay, prejudices and comparisons. Yes, that's also a challenge. 7, 8. 8 out of 10. Awesome. 6 out of 10. 5 out of 10. Not interacted with parents, yes, yet, but want to learn the best ways to do so. Awesome. So, Mr. Satya, I'm going to give you amazing strategies so that you can use those strategies, whatever I'm going to explain in this webinar, and understand how you can balance that empathy and professionalism. And definitely, you would also feel these strategies have really helped me in winning the conversation with the parents, and they really respect me, right? Today I had, oh, you had a PTM today. Awesome. PTM in my school, defaulter parents initially were angry when they were told to meet the principal. But I said I will attend their queries when they came after meeting the principal. They were really happy interacting. Wow. That's one way you have managed the situation. Awesome. That's it, everybody. Those three, just the three questions, I've put on the screen. So you can tell me anything. Like, instead of answering the first one, the second one, the third one, you can answer anything. Okay. I know sometimes, recalling that whole experience and typing might take some time. So that is the reason I'm giving you all the three options. So 6 out of 10, somebody said. 8 out of 10, not all parents come with an open mind to discuss. Yeah, that sometimes is a challenge. But we are going to understand how to like handle that situation. Okay. All right, everybody. So before I ask this question, I'll take you to the next part of the session. Quickly, please tell me how many of you are joining for the first time? How many of you are joining this webinar series for the second time or the third time? Quickly, right? First, second, third. I just want to know who are the people who are joining for the first time. And the second time. Awesome. Second, first. Yeah, there are so many people who are joining for the first time. Awesome. Third, oh, there is Mr. Satya for the fourth time. I hope and believe that our strategies and learnings that you're getting from the webinar are really helping you. And we definitely want to understand and get the feedback whether this strategy has helped you in your school or not. Okay. Second time, first time, third time. There are many people who are joining for the first time. Okay. So before I take you to the next part, so what we do is, okay, probably I can do this towards the end of the webinar. So we are going to share the community link in the chat. So what you're going to do is the people who joined for the first time, we want you to be part of our WhatsApp community where, we share resources, the posters of the upcoming webinars on the topics that we pick. And not just that, in the beginning, we have shared some resources, free resources to the participants who joined the webinar. So we would be doing that again on a regular basis. So after joining this webinar, first thing, you would get the recording of this webinar. Second thing, you will also get the certificate of participation. And the third thing, we would share free resources there also, which you can maybe edit if you want, download, take prints, and go to the class and execute them. Because we also want to understand whether these strategies are helping the teachers who are joining from different parts of the country, so that we can make some changes and then again reshare with everybody. Somebody said, yeah, okay. I will share the link in the chat. So please be with us towards the end of the webinar. Now, whatever things you have mentioned, the challenges. Oh yeah, there is a chat link also. Thank you, Satya, for sharing that. Okay. So please click on this link. Please click on this link and join our WhatsApp community. So again, I'm asking the next question. How many of you are using a mobile phone to participate to join this webinar? How many of you are using? You can give me a thumbs up or maybe a hand raise emoji or anything. I guess there are people who are joining maybe using the laptop and maybe iPad or maybe some tab or something. So if many people are using their mobile phone, it's very easy thing for you to do. What you have to do is just, yeah, thank you everybody for saying. What you can do is just click on this link. I'll share it once again. I'll copy and paste here. Please use this particular, click on that link so that you would easily join our WhatsApp community, so that we share these resources, everything there itself with you. Okay. That's it. All the other people who have heard me loud and clear, please scroll up and please join the community. What was this? Okay. Now, after understanding that, the first important benefit, okay, for having an understanding and how to balance our communication and conversation with the parents, okay, because like we all believe, without children, without teachers, without school, basically there is no school, right? So the same way we need our students to be, we need our students to teach, to run a school, okay, a school, if I say, not just the building, a teaching learning process. The same way we need the teachers, the same way we need the school leaders, okay, and similarly we need the parents. Okay. So previously it was a thought, when I was a school principal, during that time also, there was a kind of a concept where parents were not, I mean, involved a lot into child's education. Only the updates and few things were shared with the parents and they were not actively involved. But in the last 5-10 years, there has been a lot of transformation in the thought process of the school leaders and the teachers also. Now we all believe that parents are also equally important. We need the parent support to teach the students so that we can achieve those academic success. At the same time, parents actively contribute and help us in maintaining that behavior of the students if there are students with some behavior problems. And not just that, even at the home also, at their houses, parents, they can actively contribute, build that system, that kind of an environment at the houses, at their homes, so that child can go back home, study, continue education, and come back to school and again study further. So the first important benefit of having, maintaining that professional communication with the parents is it enhances student performance. It helps. I'm not just saying this or something I'm keeping on the screen, but there is a research on that where student, you know, their performance has increased because parents were actively involved uh, in the academics and education of the children. So the second important thing is it strengthens the school community. So school is not just for kids, for teachers. The same way, you have teacher community, student community, you also have to have parents community, and you need to do something as, just to engage them, encourage them, so that they also feel actively involved into the education of the child. Okay, the second benefit is it strengthens the school community. If sometimes, we believe no, we should not act, we should not involve them a lot, maybe a little bit, please, we need to change that kind of a thought process. So teachers and parents, they can collaborate on many occasions on different projects, where parents can actively help the learner at home and just get the things done for you. Okay, and the third important benefit is it builds the trust and respect. Okay, so when we have that kind of a professionalism and we maintain that empathy with the parents, so it helps in mutually trusting one another. Okay, and mutually respecting each other. Okay, this is the third important benefit. Now the next one is it promotes emotional well-being of teachers, yes, and majorly, primarily of the students also. Okay, so we do not call the parents to school just to, we do not call the parents just to like share the complaints of the child. Normally what happens, at many situations, whenever there is a call made from the school to the house, so the first thing the parents ask, what did you do? Did you do something? Did you beat anybody? Did you not listen to teacher's instruction? So this kind of, the thought process start automatically, okay, when certain calls were made from the school. So school doesn't have to always call the parents, inform the parents whenever there is some mischief behavior you have observed at the school. But when there are activities in the school where you need to educate parents, because parents, they have their own businesses, they have their own personal work, and some of the mothers, and they are like housewives. So when they know what is the reason, what is the logic behind this activity or some policy that you're bringing, that is when they understand, and they also help their child understand and follow the instructions. Okay, because sometimes, like I'll tell you from my experience, some of the students might go to home, their houses, and they say something about the activity or something, and they don't communicate in the language it was communicated to them. Okay, they go and scare their parents off, like, this is what my teacher said, this is what the principal said, this is why we are doing this. And parents, because they did not get the proper instruction or that communication, they start believing their child. So what we need to do is we need to communicate and have those channels, those applications, or in whichever way you communicate with the parents, so that they understand the logic, the reason behind everything, and they support. They definitely support, because whatever they want to do for the best of the child, right? So they'll always come forward and they'll help all the teachers understand, and help them in the easy execution of the whole thing. Okay, somebody said in the chat, good evening, sir. My very important question is that nowadays, why only parents blaming to teachers that she is not teaching us properly? I want this question answered. I have a solution. I have an answer to this. So we are going to discuss this in detail in the coming slide. Please wait. I've noticed the only teacher. Okay. Respect is lacking between teachers, different stakeholders. Open and respectful communication is also a concern. That is why we are having this session. That is why we are having this webinar, right? So whatever things you learn from here, so see, when you go back and want to implement some of these strategies, you try once. If you don't see the effect, the impact, the result, you have to try for the second time, you have to try for the third time, you have to try again and again. Okay, because we are there as nation builders, as educators and teachers, so we need to also have that patience, we need to demonstrate that patience, and we need to wait. When you do it once, twice, thrice, again and again, people get to see your efforts, and they will start recognizing, at least they'll start respecting for whatever you're trying to do. So normally what happens, we try once, we try twice, and then we give up. The same thing, in classroom behavior, classroom management, we try one strategy, And suppose it is not helping, we try to do it again. When we again don't see the kind of behavior we want to see, we give up. So I tell you this openly, okay? I have observed in my whole career, teachers, when they give up so quickly, that is when, all the challenges double, triple, all these things come. So we have to demonstrate patience, and we need to do things again and again so that they are also aware, and even students also understand that you're trying something. Yes. Now, the next important thing is it encourages positive behavior. Okay. When we understand the way we are communicating with the parents, like I say, once and twice, if you do something and you're not seeing the result, you're not getting the impact, you're not getting that response, then it's not going to help you. No strategies can help us. So we need to demonstrate patience, and we need to do things again and again. Okay, once, twice, thrice. There will be a time where you definitely see the result. Let me ask you a question, because this question is related to this positive behavior and the emotional well-being. How many of you watched the movie Hitchki, in which Rani Mukherjee is the actress, the lead actress? Hitchki. Please give me a quick thumbs up, everybody, if you watched. I think the movie is on Netflix or Amazon. You can watch it online. Hitchki. Yeah, great. I got responses from only 5 members. Others have not watched. That's what I can assume right now. Everybody, please let me know in the chat if you have watched the movie Hitchki. Yeah, there are people who have already watched it. Great. Thank you. So what happens in that movie is, I'll just quickly tell you. The teacher is new and the teacher wants to try like some strategies, help the learners. What happens the first few like minutes and the months, it will be very challenging. And the only thing you observe towards the end also, the teacher never gives up. Okay. And there is already a situation, she knows that, okay, the actress knows the situation. There were other teachers before me who gave up and who left the school, but I joined as a teacher, and it is my responsibility to teach these students and transform their personalities, transform their behavior, encourage positive behavior. Okay. When she does that again and again, not just towards the end, after a couple of scenes, you will see some of the students, they start acknowledging, recognizing, yeah, the teacher is trying our best, she's fighting for us, she's defending us. And that's when towards the end you see all the students completely focusing and listening to whatever the teacher says. Okay. The reason I said that is just to explain the patience thing. Okay, we need to be patient. Okay, if you just want a quick solution for everything, then that's not going to help you. No strategy can help you in the classes. And the last and important thing is it supports problem solving. Whatever problems you have in the class, when we properly share those concerns with the parents and they also understand, yes, this is the concern right now and what can we do collaboratively. So these are the key benefits. Okay, now I'm going to show you some of the conversations, okay, between a teacher and a parent. So we actually need to understand, whenever parent comes to school and they are actually shouting, sometimes they are calling names, or somebody said they're blaming something. So there is always a situation. We need to remember this. What they say is different from what they mean. Okay. As parents, even when we go to, okay, our school, PTMs of our kids also, sometimes we say things but we do not mean them literally like that. Okay, there is a different thing altogether. So what is that? Let us understand what they say versus what they mean. The first thing, tell me if you hear this from the parents of your school also. Okay, why did my child only get a B in this subject? She always does well. Have you heard this kind of statement from the parents? Why is my child getting low marks? He's or she is doing really well in the in that subject. Yes, yes. Other people, not messaging. I believe you have not heard it at your school. So yes, always heard. Yeah. Always parents come to school and they say, why is my child not doing good in this subject? When I'm seeing at my home, he's doing or she's doing fine. What's wrong? So please remember this. When they say this, what they mean is, I'm worried about my child. I'm worried my child is not performing to her potential or to his potential. Is something wrong? When parents say something wrong, okay, here they don't, here when you see, they're not saying, asking something like that. This is just a statement, okay? But what they mean is they're trying to understand, or in their subconscious mind, there is this particular point. Is something wrong? How can I support my child at home better? Do you agree with this understanding? They say something, but in their subconscious mind, they actually want to know the reason, but they don't know how to speak it out. Yeah, PTM time, you heard this and face this problem. Yes. Do you agree with what I'm showing right now? In our subconscious mind, we have things, okay, but the anger or maybe something else comes first. We do not communicate those things properly, rightly. The same is the situation with the parents. They do not know how to communicate things properly. So they say something, but what do they mean? Now, the important thing is, what is the ideal response? Okay. So if you hear this, the first thing, okay, how do you respond? Even though the parent is not saying this, the parent is not saying, I'm worried my child is not performing to her potential. Okay. I want to know the reason, the cause. So when you hear this kind of statement, why did my child get only a B in the subject? She always does well. The ideal response is, I understand your concern. Okay. Let's discuss the areas where your child is doing good and where she might need extra support. Together, we can make a plan to help her improve. How do you like that response? Do you think this response will definitely help in winning the conversation or building that trust for the teachers? Some parents told from Corona time, this problem came and student week. Yeah. I mean, in India, even Corona went like, it's been 4 years now. So people are still blaming Corona for everything. So that's another story. But how do you like this response? When you hear this from the parent, why did my child get only B? So you're saying, I understand your concern, okay, with a smile on the face, not with an anger on your face. Otherwise, the parent will again show a lot of anger to you. Let's discuss the areas where your child is doing good and where she might need extra support. Yeah, hence parents need to avoid negative communication or accusatory questions to teachers. They can use I statement like, I feel, I'm worried, I would like to know, instead of why. Yes, I totally agree with you. That is why we are having this thing. So that when you learn something from here, some of you even can go back and implement these strategies. You can tell the parents, you can educate them, this is how I want your conversation to be. And I would appreciate, if you speak these things. Okay, that's it. Moving to the next one. Next, see what do they say? Is it seems like you don't pay much attention to my child in the class. Have you heard any statement like this? It seems like you don't pay attention to my child in class. Oh, you never heard. What about eye making an eye contact? Some parents come and say, you're not looking at my child, you're ignoring my child. So you don't look at my child. My child feels left out. So different situations. Yeah, somebody said yes. Not as such, yeah. They might not come and say, but there are situations, in parent-teachers communication somewhere. This has been a statement where parents openly said, it seems you're not paying much attention to my child. But what do they actually mean? My child mentioned feeling overlooked. I'm concerned about their emotional well-being and whether they are getting enough support in the class. In the last webinar also, I shared my personal experience and I'm doing it again. So I'll tell you, I have experienced not this, but a similar situation. I was teaching grade 2, class 2. Okay. And there was a little girl. And for some reason, I go to the class, I teach, and I left the class. Okay. So the parent went to home and she said, her mother and father, okay, I don't want to go to school. And the parent asked, why? And the girl said, Amjad doesn't even look at me when he's teaching. The next day, parents came to school and they just spoke with the principal. Okay, why is Amjad not looking at our child? I mean, he has to look at everybody, right? So I was called to a meeting, and I was said, principal, why are you not looking at the child when you're teaching? I was like surprised. Come on, I'm there in the class, I'm looking at everybody. So that was a situation. And then what strategy I did was, like, I used next time when I went to the class for like 1 2 weeks. Whenever there was a question, I used to ask that particular student, okay, you tell me, what do you think about it? Okay, tell me, give me an answer. So I did that for 2 3 weeks. And what happened? The same girl told the parents, I only want to go to this school every day, even if I'm sick, just because of Amjad sir. Just because of Amjad sir, because now he is paying attention to me. So, see, kids, they think so many things. Okay, we don't know. They have their own psychology, their emotions, everything is going on, right? But we need to understand the way we see the emotions, understand those that situation in the class. Similar could be with everybody. Yes. So the ideal response for this is, thank you for sharing this with me. Can you tell me more about what your child has mentioned? So you want to know the reason, like what the child has mentioned, in what way your child is feeling overlooked. I'll also observe more closely to ensure they feel included and supported. Okay, the next one is, why are you giving so much homework? My child is overwhelmed. Now, have you heard this? Your parents coming and telling you, yes, yes. Yeah, somebody said that student was an attention seeker. Yeah, we can, I mean, yeah, kids, you know, you can't, blame them. You can't say anything to them. Okay, all right. I'm seeing a lot of messages. Yeah. Why are you giving so much of homework? My child is dying to write so many things. Not just that, my kids, they go to a school nearby. Okay, so even I'm seeing every day there is something to write, and when they come back home, they are writing something, they're doing homework, and every day they say there is homework, there is homework. And a couple of weeks back, even I had this feeling, why so much homework for a student who is just in UKG? Come on, you don't have to give them so many things to write. So as parents, sometimes you all feel, oh yeah, this is too much, right? So when the parents say this, they actually mean my child is struggling to manage their time or understand the homework. It's causing stress at home. The actual thing they want to say is there's so much to do, and maybe they are not able to understand. Okay. So what is it? Can you even clarify that further? So the ideal response for that is, I'm sorry to hear your child is feeling overwhelmed. Let's review the homework together and see if we can adjust the approach or provide additional support. So you want to understand what is actually causing that stress, why maybe the child is not understanding the whole part of the homework. So let's explain a few things, and then let's see if that will help or not. Okay, the next part here, can my child sit closer to the teacher, like in the front bench, the first bench? They'll perform better that way. Now, tell me, have you heard this? Did any of your parent, come and tell you, please make my child sit in the front bench, not in the back, because I want my child to learn directly from you? Yeah, yes, many people are agreeing with this. Yes, always. Yeah. Yes. Many times. Yeah, it happens. Yes. So all time. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Okay. What do they actually mean? I believe my child needs extra attention or support due to a specific challenge they face, but I'm not sure how to express it directly. See, they're communicating this, but what they have in their subconscious mind is this. Okay. So the ideal response for that is, thanks for letting me know. I'll ensure your child is seated in a way that supports their learning. Could you share any specific challenges they're facing so I can better assist? Okay. So you want to know what exactly is a challenge. Okay. Sitting just in the front bench, or I can make them sit here, not in the front bench, maybe just close to whatever the seating arrangement you have in your classroom. So let's see. I'll try to teach and try to solve the problem and see whether this will help or not. Okay. So, yes. Now, the next one is, I don't understand why my child is not topping the class. There are parents who want their children to be like first ranker all the time. We spend so much time studying at home, like together we are also helping the child, but still we see the child is not really like topping the class. What do they mean is, I'm frustrated because I feel like our efforts are not yielding results, are not giving us results, and I'm worried there is something wrong with the teaching or my child. So this is what they want to communicate. So when you hear something like that, you say it sounds like you're both putting in a lot of effort. I can see that both of you are like sitting together and learning something. But let's see which is great. Let's discuss how your child learns best and find ways to align their home study routine with classwork for better results. So these are the ways where we communicate. These are the things, the communication, the statements, we need to remember. And instead of directly passing on comments or judging the parent for whatever situation or the request they're putting forward, we are actually trying to understand. Okay, that is when you build empathy. Okay, now the next part is, do we really need this new policy? It's adding more pressure on my child. Have you heard this? You brought some homework policy or uniform policy or something at your school, and the parent called you or emailed you, or in any way they informed you, okay, why do we need this policy? It's adding a lot of pressure on my child. My child doesn't understand this. I got just only one yes, not from others. I need it from all the members. Slowly, we have like 52 members. So I request everybody to please let us know in the chat. Yeah, now there are people saying yes, yes. Actually, child-centered policy. Yeah, whatever policy we bring, that has to be child-centered only to benefit the learners and to correct them also. Okay. Okay. But the parents, because like I said earlier, kids, when they go back home, they do not communicate in the same language. Or when you send the policy to the parents, they don't understand why we are doing this, why the logic behind that. Okay, so that is why we need to explain things in a better way. Okay, yes, thank you everybody for saying that. What do they understand is, I don't fully understand how this policy benefits my child. I'm worried about how it's impacting their workload and stress levels. So this is what they mean to say. Okay, instead of saying this, they might come and say, you, do we really need this? This is very strict, policy, and my child will not be able to follow this, and we don't understand this. So back in their mind, they actually need to understand the logic behind that and the reason. So when we explain that properly, they'll definitely follow. So the ideal response for that is, I hear your concern. The goal of this policy is to support students' growth. Let me explain how it works. See, like I said, when the parents do not understand, they come and complain, because those things, those that policy or the instruction has not been communicated in a way it has to be. Okay, so you are saying, let me explain how it works and how we can address any challenges your child is facing. Okay, all right, with all this, let's just quickly recap all the responses. You have all these 6 situations, 6 responses on your screen, which we heard, we learned, we discussed previously. Now please look at them for a minute. Okay, 1 minute or 2 minute, the same responses. If somebody, if you would like to take a screenshot of this also, it's completely fine, just to save you on your mobile phone. So now read all this for a minute, and then we'll discuss what is common thing between all these 6. What do you find a common thing between all this? So you have a minute, or if you have already done that, you read all these 5 6 responses, you can use the chart and you can let me know. All the 6 responses. So these 6 responses I have given in previous slides. So now I'm, putting them all together so that you can tell me. Yes, thank you for saying this, Ms. Akanksha Jain. Empathy, understanding, mutual respect for other views without getting offended. Very nicely put. Thank you so much. Keep good relationship with parents. Yes, that's also a good point. Good relationship. Yes. Others, communication. Yes. Well, communication. What is the way we need to communicate with the parents? Yes. Okay. Okay, parent-student relationship or partnership, yes. First, respecting their emotions and then explaining our point of view. Very nicely put, Miss Asta. Thank you so much for saying that. Bonding, empathy or understanding the perspective. Very good. Understanding and trying to resolve things, yes. Good communication and good listener, yes. All right. Anyone else to just type in the chat and let us know solution. Handle the children with care. Yes, that's also a very good point. Solution. Yes. Positive thinking. Yes. Parents always waiting their child to come instead they can hear complaints. Okay. So that is why you want to learn this strategy so that you can change that narrative. Okay. Whenever a child complain and they come up and complain, this way, you are communicating with the parent and trying to build that bond with the parents, that relationship. All right. So all these six, I appreciate the people who mentioned empathy. Okay. So all these six statements that you see, these statements, these responses help you build that empathy with the parents and that professionalism that we want to have at the school. Okay. So communication should be important. Yes, totally agree. Share information. So all these responses will definitely help the parents understand what is the way I have to communicate. And whenever I talk to the teachers and the teacher is responding to me in these particular, in this particular approach, and that will definitely, help me and respect the teacher and the kind of response, she's giving me as a parent. Okay. So these six responses, are really crucial for building that empathy and professionalism that we want. Now, moving to the next one, here's a very quick thing for all of you to do. So please read this. There is a just a quick case study. And after this, I'll share some strategies because now we are moving towards the end of the session. Just the way we started communicating and, right from the beginning, the time flew so fast. Okay, I'll read this for you. At a school, this is just a situation, okay? A fictional situation, okay? Not based on any incident or something, and the names that have been used here, all those are like just fictional. So at a school, Mrs. Patel, a 7th grade teacher, had a parent teacher meeting with Mr. Singh, whose daughter Meera was underperforming in maths. Mrs. Patel started the meeting by mentioning Meera's mistakes, including her late submissions, incomplete homework, and frequent need for reminders to stay focused. The tone came across as critical, and Mrs. Patel used terms like irresponsible and not paying attention. Mr. Singh felt attacked and became defensive. That's what parents do when they feel, we all do, like when we feel attacked, we start becoming defensive. He argued that Meera had a lot of work to do with extracurricular activities and suggested that the teacher was not being supportive enough in class. He mentioned that Meera had told him she didn't feel comfortable at school. Both parties started speaking over each other, kind of an argument. Mr. Singh ended the meeting abruptly, saying, "If the teacher doesn't care, why should we?" Mrs. Patel felt frustrated, and Mr. Singh left the feeling that meeting unheard. Okay, so this is just the case study. Now you all remember this, right? You all understood this situation, right? Just give me a quick thumbs up if you all remember the situation, like, because I have some following up, like, questions, follow up questions to this. Give me a quick thumbs up. You all understood the whole case study, the situation, parent teacher communication, right? Okay, all right. Now please tell me what mistakes were made in the initial conversation by both the parent and the teacher. Yeah, I saw this type of situation with my colleague. Now, please tell me in the chat what mistakes were made in the initial conversation by both, not just the teacher, both parent and a teacher. What was that mistake? They started with negative points. Okay. The language used, okay, the language the teacher used and the parent also, that was also a problem. Mistake is both sides. Yes, both. That's the reason I'm asking this question. What are those mistakes? Type the mistakes. Okay, not a constructive feedback. Both do not respect. Totally agree. Mistake is both side. Negative start. Yes. Started with negative. Yes. Lot of negativity. Teacher pointed out only the weak points. Yes. Lack of trust. Yes. Anything else? Language, negative feedback, yes. The tone, negative points, yes. Anything else that you observed? Okay, misunderstanding. They do not focus on the solution. Yes, this is what, the way you look at the case study is different from the other person, right? So what mistakes you observed? We have like 50 people, 50 different perspectives could be there. All right, so I totally agree with everything you just mentioned, that those were the mistakes. A lot of negativity, negative start, instead of mentioning the right points. The teacher started with only the negative points. Totally agree. That is why the communication did not go well. Okay, the parent lost the trust and parent left. Even teacher felt embarrassed and frustrated. So wanted to be polite from both the end. Negative point, no trust. Yes. Now the next question: how could Mrs. Patel have approached the situation differently to create a more respectful conversation? Okay. What Mrs. Patel should do, okay, to create a different situation altogether, a respectful situation. Please type in the chat. Did you understand this question? You all know that teacher made a mistake. It started with negativity and all that. So what the teacher or Mrs. Patel should do to create a more respectful conversation with the parent? Yes, should start with pointing out the positivity and the student has, and whatever, and then we can say the points that are negative. Yeah, starting with positive and then the constructive feedback. Starting with the positive point, she should start with positive. They came and they both talked in front, okay, in each other, patiently handling the situation with a positive tone. Totally agree with what you said. Talk with parents positively, starting with positive points. Okay, let's do one thing. If everyone and agree with starting with a positive point, starting with the positive approach, give me a thumbs up. I understand typing the whole thing may be time consuming for you, so give me a thumbs up. The teacher should start with a positive point. Thumbs up, everybody. Dear participants, yeah, Miss Sheila, do you have anything? You have raised your hand.
Oh,
Okay, fine. That was a mistake. Totally fine. Okay, all right. Now the next thing. If you were Mrs. Patel, how could you have handled the situation? If you are Mrs. Patel, okay, how you could have handled the situation? Somebody said framing negative thoughts so as to understand the different challenges and all positive. Yes, right point. First find the problem, then discuss about solution. Okay. If you were Mrs. Patel, how you could have handled the situation? Please. Okay, awesome. I'm seeing the responses. Know about the weaknesses where both can work. Okay. I would be very polite and made her understand the problem and help to overcome the problem. Yes, totally understand. Agree with you. Others, please, if you agree with the same thing other person just mentioned, please use the chat. Please give me a thumbs up. Try to give a positive feedback to the parent and later amicably find the weaker sides. If you agree with this point, that's something you would do as Mrs. Patel, give a thumbs up. Okay, all right, all right. Awesome. Yes, yes. Thank you so much. So I'll move to the next question. What impact do you think the conversation may have created on Mira's confidence? Here, Mira is a student. Okay, if you remember, what is the impact of that conversation? Okay, on Mira, on a student. Demotivated. If you agree with that, please give a thumbs up. Disturbing the mental health. True. Demotivated. All that, because the conversation was happening in front of the student, like, right? So what would be the impact of that conversation on that student? Student get irritated, arrogant with teacher. True. That happens. We should know the psychology of the child. Yes. I will point out the areas where the child is doing good and then see these were the small mistakes she's making. It can be rectified if we give a little more care to it. Okay. the impact would be embarrassing. Yes. If you agree with that, demotivated, embarrassing, disturbing the mental health, give a thumbs up. Generally, students carry the negative feedback throughout their life. Yeah, that's true. I agree with that. They keep that feedback of a teacher. Lack of confidence. True. Totally agree with everything you've mentioned. Okay, all right. The next one, the last one. What impact do you think the conversation may have created on Mr. Singh's trust? Now, Mr. Singh is a parent. What the parent would be like thinking, okay, what is the impact of that conversation, the teacher's conversation, how she started on the parent, on Mr. Singh's trust. In another 5-10 minutes, we'll wind up the session. So we are already in the end of the webinar. So please bear with us for another 10 minutes. Worst experience, unhappy and disturbing. Yes. Anything else that you want to say? Helpless, no trust for teacher and school. Yes, I agree with you. So if you agree with negative comments and all, yeah, if you agree with the people who are mentioning in the chat, give a quick thumbs up and then we'll move on. Okay. Parents will not have trust. Okay. Now see, remember, we understood some ideal responses, a couple of, in the previous slide, the ideal responses to build that empathy and professionalism. And now this is a case study for you to understand when we make those errors, those mistakes, what would be the impact of that. So for that, if you want to really build that, you need to empathize first. Understand the concern. Don't directly jump to making the comment and trying to like come as constructive but sound as totally negative, destructive. Okay. So we need to remember, we need to empathize first. The previous sentences, in the ideal responses you have seen, all the statements start with I understand your concern. I agree with your point. Okay. And I hear your concern. It sounds you're putting in like both of you are putting in a lot of efforts together. So this statement means it acknowledges that both parent and a student, both of them are working together. So starting with, the first thing first, you need to empathize with the parent instead of directly calling, saying, you're wrong. No, first empathize. The second thing is active listening. Listening is more important. Okay, 90% of the concern will just go away when you demonstrate patience and listen actively. And then you respond. And please remember, listen to respond, not to react. Listen first, understand everything, and then you reply, you respond. But do not listen just to react to whatever the people are saying, the parent are saying. Then the next one, the active listening. Oh, sorry, I forgot to change this. It's actually a thank you note. Okay, sending the thank you notes to the parents. Okay. How many of us, just a quick question, how many of us send thank you notes to the parents for whatever little things that they do, and we appreciate that. Sending them, sending them, sending them some, let's say, memos. Okay, thank you for helping child in making this project. I really appreciate that. So if you're not doing that, we need to start. That's an amazing strategy that we need to like adapt and be consistent about it. So that will also help parents recognize their own effort. Okay, yeah, there is somebody at the school who is recognizing my efforts. Okay. Then the next one is, you know, send the regular updates, which basically we all do either on the mobile phone or SMS or in the diary, whatever, communication model you have at your place. So sending the regular updates with clear and simple to learn, simple to understand, language. Then the next thing is when we tell that we have a parent community. So if we don't call them to teach them something, okay, about how to teach a child properly, how to support the child in the academics, or how to like teach them about, on sex education and various other topics which are really important. Okay. So the school also needs to conduct some activities, some workshops like this where parents come to learn, not just to come to school only to know how the child is performing in the subject, but to learn and understand something also. This will also build a lot of trust and respect for the school and the teacher, and always use the simple language. I know this may not sound as a strategy, but this really helps you whenever you have any kind of communication with the parents. Do not write in such a language that they need to be, I mean, from Shakespeare's family to understand the message. Okay, keep it simple, concise, so that when they read they understand. And when you communicate also, use simple language, not use complicated words. Okay, because we are not going there or having some conversation like we are participating in some debate or some, eloquent and some kind of like international speech seminar, something like that is going on. No, we are not delivering or having a TED talk there, right? We are having that communication with the parent, who is there to understand whether the child is doing good or not good and what support is required. Okay, so these are few things, and now I'm coming to this last part. I actually shared this chat link. I'll share it again in the WhatsApp link in the chat. Yeah, I totally agree with what you just said. And the people who are joining for the second time, I have something for you. You have to, second time and the third time, we also mentioned some strategies. We gave you strategies in the last week. So please click on this second link which I just shared, Padlet. When you click, you will come something here on this. I mean, in your mobile phone, you will see this. So you have to write the topic of the webinar you participated in and mention any three learning you have had during the webinar. So you can just comment. Okay, you can, if you have some image, you can upload that also. Like anything you can comment and then press OK, and you will, like, your comment will come here. Did you try to implement the strategies given by the expert? If yes, please mention what strategy you implemented and how it helped you in your classes. So the reason we want you to give us this feedback is this reflection, because we also will know whether these strategies, these things are helping you or not, because we are conducting these webinars on a regular basis. So we want to stay relevant and relevant to everybody. Like today, people have joined from different parts of the country. So whatever things we communicate, you can easily go back to your class, your school, and implement them without any concern or problem. So people who are joining for the second time or the third time also, please use this second link which I just shared in the group, the Padlet, and then, mention the feedback. After this, there are other things also. We definitely want you to, like, follow us on all the social media platforms. Okay, so especially many of you, if you are on LinkedIn, this is the link for you to, like, click and please give us a follow on LinkedIn. Okay, we are building this teacher community where we want to benefit people, benefit the teachers who are not just in Hyderabad, they are everywhere. Some of you are joining from Zimbabwe, some people join from Cameroon and other different places in the world. So today in this webinar, we have 99% of the people from India, but different places. So when you join our WhatsApp community, so you also get access to the resources, the blogs and everything. And yes, Mr. Satya, you can repost it on LinkedIn. There is a facility feature. When you see our post, you can repost it with mentioning, your thoughts. Okay, as soon as you see, because every Monday or Tuesday we would be posting about the next webinar. So as soon as you see that post, you can repost it with your thought. You can share it with the people. You can send them in the message, also direct messages. Those things, definitely you can do. Or if you can click like and comment, or just like also, all your followers and your connections will get to see that. That's how the LinkedIn algorithm works. So you can do that, Mr. Satya. And also Instagram, please. I know many teachers use Instagram. We have a research report also about that. So please use this. I'm sharing this now in the chat. Please give us a follow on Instagram too. And when you go to Instagram, like I said, today we posted this. You can see I'm showing you live on the screen. You can see, the strategy which we posted today about the KWL chart. And if you see the arrangement, did you know that sitting arrangements can shape learning? So you will have access to these type of ideas, strategies, resources, tools. You can see there is a lot. You can scroll down and you can read. And if you go to our website also, ksite.in, ksite.in, so you can also read the blogs. Sorry. So ksite.in, you can go to this particular web page, and this is how you can see normally. When you come to this particular web page, you have to go to the more option, click on the blog, and then you have access to all these blogs we posted online. So you can also learn these strategies, why social emotional learning is the best investment, financial literacy, top 10 effective parent teacher communication strategies, is it time for digital detox? So there are so many blogs, and these blogs, have a lot of ideas. So you can read them, implement those ideas in your school, in your classes. Instagram, yes, I'm sharing with you once again. I'm mentioning here again. Okay, everybody, it's time. I've given all the links for you to follow. Now, time for questions. If you have any questions or feedback or anything that you want to communicate and talk or clarify anything. Oh, I see there are so many people who have already, mentioned. Thank you so much. I'm really happy. Now, coming back to the webinar part. Yes. Questions, clarifications, anything, you have this opportunity to please you can turn on your microphone, you can turn on your video.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes.
Good evening. Yes. Say, I'm just Mini ma'am from Kerala. The
Uh,
session was really innovative and inspiring because how to handle the teacher parent community is the trend of the time, and that handling with the care is more important. So, your webinar really made us useful to increase our journey of excellence, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the feedback. I really appreciate this. And since you're joining from Kerala, I just I want to say, okay, I was in Kerala for 6 years as a teacher, as a school principal. I love Kerala a lot. I don't have to say this on record, but whenever I hear this thing from the Malayalis, my inner Malayali comes out. So I'm sorry.
Okay. Thank you so much for the compliment of my place as well as our God's own country.
True,
Okay.
ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody
Thank you.
else? Anybody else would like to say anything, ask questions, clarification? So please go ahead. So you must be wondering what we would be giving you in our community. So in our WhatsApp community, and also you'll have these type of resources, where, let's say, for example, you will have access to these flashcards, some emotional check-in sheets. So I'll show you just one, which you can print, use it in your class also in any way you want. So all these type of free resources are given to everybody. And then we have this particular chart also. Let's say I'll open in and show you. So you can also use this at your classroom, in your classroom, where you want the students to write, how are you feeling today? Okay. So the very first thing that I did in the beginning, checked how you are feeling. And then we started the session with a lot of enthusiasm and energy. Similarly, we would be doing this, for the learners also. So they'll also get to feel, okay, yeah, I'm sharing my emotions and teacher will help me manage my emotions. Okay. Until
Yeah,
she'll focus. Who's
yes,
this?
sir. So I would like to give a small feedback, if that's
Yeah,
okay.
please. Yeah, please, please.
Yes, so I actually loved the approach that you took to start and to go through the entire session. I think in just 1 hour, you've know touched different corners and different aspects of a parent and teacher relation, which is, I mean, as a trainer myself, I feel it's really a big challenge, and I really appreciate the way you went about it. I love the way where you started off by connecting with the emotions, making the audience connect with their own emotions. And, it was really nice. I really found it very unique and very interesting. And the whole approach was very positive. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Definitely, I learned many techniques from you today.
Yeah, thank you so much for the amazing feedback. Thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Anyone else? will in another 5 minutes we'll finish this webinar, because I know, you people have been like waiting, and for this 1 hour I really appreciate also, because you have taken this one more than 1 hour time for learning and understanding something, so that's really I have to appreciate that. And yes, anyone else would like to say anything, you can.
हेलो, गुड इवनिंग सर।
Yeah, Mr. Lokendra Singh, good evening.
सर मैं ये कहना चाह रहा था कि कुछ बच्चे जैसे अभी कोरोना काल की स्थिति से जैसे उनका मतलब जो बौद्धिक स्तर है वो बहुत डाउन चला गया है, मतलब उस हिसाब से उनका माइंड वर्क नहीं कर रहा। क्लास तो आगे बढ़ रही है लेकिन वो उनका जो मेच्योरिटी लेवल है वो इंक्रीज नहीं हो पाया। तो वो बच्चे माना वो 10th में बैठा है लेकिन वो 10th की पढ़ाई नहीं कर पा रहा है, तो उसका क्योंकि उसका माइंड उस हिसाब से डेवलप नहीं हो पाया, उसने अपने ऊपर वर्क नहीं किया। तो हम उन बच्चों को मतलब कैसे उस लेवल तक लाए या कैसे उन पे काम करें, क्योंकि वो पढ़ना ही कुछ बच्चे हम मोटिवेट भी करते हैं, वो पढ़ते ही नहीं है, पेरेंट्स को मोटिवेट करते हैं, वो सपोर्ट नहीं करते। तो समझ में नहीं आ रहा कि क्या करे क्या ना करे।
सर, हमेशा होता ये है कि मैं आपको बताऊं, मैं हिंदी में भी इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ कि मैं हिंदी जानता हूं, तो मैं आपको हिंदी में ही जवाब दूंगा। तो
थैंक यू सो मच।
हाँ, तो होता ये है कि हम हमेशा क्या करते हैं कि हम हमारे हिसाब से स्ट्रेटजीज को इस्तेमाल करते हैं, कि बच्चा मेरी बात नहीं मान रहा, नहीं सुन रहा है, तो मैं ये करके देखूंगा। तो अगर मैं मानता हूँ कोरोना की वजह से लॉकडाउन में 1-2 साल बच्चों का जो खराब हुआ था, बच्चे ज्यादा ज्यादा तौर पर घर पर ही बैठे थे, और ज्यादा तौर पर वो लोग मोबाइल फोन इस्तेमाल कर रहे थे, और बहुत ज्यादा मतलब जो 1-2 साल में जो गैप क्रिएट हो गया, इसका इफेक्ट तो रहेगा। तो लेकिन उसके बाद भी, क्योंकि अभी वो 4 साल हो गए उस बात को, और उसके बाद जब बच्चे प्रमोट किए गए और उनको जैसे भी मतलब स्कूल में पढ़ना था, इन शॉर्ट अगर मैं
यस
बोलूँ तो
सर।
देखिए, कोई भी स्ट्रैटेजी उसी वक्त काम करेगी जब आप उनके हिसाब से उनको समझकर कुछ करने की कोशिश करेंगे। मिसाल के तौर पर आप देखिए, जैसे मैं दूसरी मूवी का एग्जांपल दूंगा, आपने तारे जमीन पर तो देखी होगी, उसमें ईशान
यस सर।
का जो बच्चे का नाम है उसके अंदर, वो चैलेंज ये था बच्चे को, कोई इसको समझना नहीं चाहता था उस स्कूल में। हर टीचर उसको बुरा भला बोलते थे और बोलते थे तुम एक नंबर के डफर हो, तुम कुछ नहीं पढ़ सकते, तुम बहुत ही वीक हो, तुम्हारा भाई कितना अच्छा है पढ़ाई में। वो बच्चा बस ये चाह रहा था कि मेरे फीलिंग्स को, मैं जिस तरीके से मैं पढ़ना या समझना मुझे आता है, उसके हिसाब से मुझे पढ़ाए। इसकी वजह से वो एकेडमिक में बहुत पीछे हो गया। बाद में क्या हो
यस
गया,
सर।
तो दूसरे इसमें बताया गया कि एक टीचर आएगा, आकर समझेगा बच्चे को कि बच्चे का कंसर्न क्या है। बच्चा
यस सर।
अगर आर्ट्स में अगर इतना आगे था, वो उसी चीज से भी पीछे भाग रहा है, तो प्रॉब्लम क्या है। तो हमेशा हमको ये करना चाहिए कि पहले हम बच्चों को समझें। अब यहाँ पे भी एक चैलेंज होगा, अब क्लास में आपके 30-40 बच्चे या 20 बच्चे, सबको एक एक साथ समझने बैठेंगे तो काफी टाइम चला जाएगा, क्योंकि अब
यस
उस
सर।
वक्त जो है, हमको पोर्शन भी कंप्लीट करना है। अगर पोर्शन कंप्लीट नहीं करेंगे तो फिर प्रिंसिपल हमको बुलाकर पूछेंगे, राइट।
यस सर।
ये सारी चीजें चीजें तो होती रहेंगी, लेकिन देखिए, बच्चों को समझने के लिए सिर्फ क्लासरूम के अंदर ही बैठकर समझना ये जरूरी नहीं है। आप क्लास के बाहर 2-4 बच्चे अगर ऐसे हैं या 5 बच्चे ऐसे हैं जो बात नहीं मान रहे, नहीं समझ रहे हैं, आप
यस सर।
उनको अलग से बाहर बुलाकर वन ऑन वन बात करो ना।
यस सर।
हम बात कर सकते हैं, पूछ सकते हैं, बताओ होगा ऐसे, क्योंकि अब कभी, देखिए यहाँ पे भी एक चैलेंज है, जो चीज कभी नहीं हुई, ऑल ऑफ ए सडन जब वो होगी ना, उसको समझने के लिए भी टाइम लगता है। ये हमको
यस सर।
समझना चाहिए। अब तक कोई उस तरीके से उस बच्चे को या उन बच्चों को किसी ने ऐसा अप्रोच नहीं किया। ऑल ऑफ ए सडन जब हम ये शुरू करेंगे ना, तो वो भी कंफ्यूज होंगे, मतलब ये हो क्या रहा है।
यस सर।
वो लोग उसको एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर पाएंगे। तो 1 से 2 बार जब हम उनसे बात करेंगे, बताएंगे, उसके बाद जब हम उनको समझने की कोशिश करेंगे कि बताओ तुम्हारा चैलेंज एक्चुअल में है कहाँ। मान लीजिए, मैं बताता हूँ, अगर जो बच्चे मैथ्स में या इंग्लिश में बहुत वीक है, आप उनको खेल कूद
यस
में
सर।
देखिए, स्पोर्ट्स में बहुत आगे रहेंगे,
यस सर।
या दूसरे आर्ट्स में बहुत आगे रहेंगे, किसी ना किसी एक ऐसी फील्ड में वो कहीं ना कहीं तो बहुत आगे रहेंगे। मान लीजिए अगर ऐसा भी बच्चा हो जो पूरी तरीके से मतलब पढ़ाई में बिल्कुल पीछे है, लेकिन जब गेम की बात आती है या कंप्यूटर्स की बात आती है, मोबाइल फोन की बात आती है, वो इतना जबरदस्त मोबाइल चलाएगा या कंप्यूटर को इतना जबरदस्त तरीके से जो है इस्तेमाल करेगा कि वो हमको खुद नहीं पता होगा इंटरनेट को या
राइट सर, बिल्कुल।
तो छोटी, अगर इन शॉर्ट में अगर मैं बोलूं कि जब हम बच्चों को समझेंगे और उनके हिसाब से जो है कुछ उनको मदद करने की कोशिश करेंगे, थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा, लेकिन वो बात को मानेंगे, और उनके तरफ से भी जो है कुछ सीखने का, कुछ आगे बढ़ने का जो है वो जज्बा उनके पास भी निकलेगा और वो लोग आगे भी बढ़ेंगे। लेकिन इन सब
यस सर।
चीजों को करने के लिए थोड़ा हमें भी एफर्ट डालना पड़ेगा और थोड़ा पेशेंस के साथ भी काम आना पड़ेगा। ऐसा नहीं है कि आप बोल रहे हैं बच्चों को खड़ो तो खड़ा हो रहा है बच्चा, और बोल रहे हैं बैठो बैठ, ऐसा नहीं है ना। कुछ चीजें टाइम
यस
लेती है।
सर।
तो आप वापस जाकर अपने बच्चों को देखिए, उन बच्चों को कि वन ऑन वन आप बात करके देखिए, बोलिए कि मुझे बताओ, मैं तुम्हारी मदद करना चाहता हूँ, मुझे बताओ तुम किस तरीके से सीखना चाहते हो, तुम्हारी चैलेंज कहाँ पर है, तुमको मैथ समझ में नहीं आता या इंग्लिश में तुमको प्रॉब्लम है या कहाँ पर है वो बताओ, और वो प्रॉब्लम अगर है तो प्रॉब्लम किस तरीके की प्रॉब्लम है। तो जब हम अच्छे तरीके से समझने की कोशिश करेंगे और बच्चे हमको खुलकर बोलेंगे, थोड़ा टाइम हम उनके साथ बिताएंगे, तो फिर देखो उस मूवी की जो मैंने एग्जांपल दिया आपको तारे जमीन पर, एक ही दिन के अंदर आमिर खान ने उस बच्चे को
यस सर।
ट्रांसफॉर्म बदल नहीं बदला था। मूवी के अंदर ये भी दिखाया गया कि उसने काफी मेहनत की, काफी टाइम लगा, होते 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 एक कुछ महीनों के बाद तब जाके वो बच्चा पूरी तरीके से पढ़ने में आगे आया और ठीक हुआ। राइट। और आमिर खान का भी मतलब उसमें जो टीचर का ये है, उसने उतना पेशेंस दिखाया भी।
यस सर।
तो हमें भी ऐसा ही कुछ करना चाहिए बच्चों को, तो ऑब्वियसली जो है कुछ ना कुछ बच्चे भी ये करेंगे।
सर।
किसी शायद मैंने आपके सवाल का जवाब दिया।
थैंक यू सो मच सर, थैंक यू सो मच।
सर
या
एक रिक्वेस्ट है, अगर आप डिजिटल डिटॉक्स या फिर बच्चों को, जैसे मैं मैनेजमेंट स्टूडेंट्स को पढ़ाती हूँ,
हाँ हाँ,
so how to get the students switch off from their phones because they're so addicted to their phones and so distracted in class, you know, so how to help students be pay more attention, increase attention span, avoid distractions, and of course I do breathing techniques and all, लेकिन वो एक फोन एडिक्शन बहुत ज्यादा हो रहा है especially after lockdown, so वो
डेफिनेटली
कैसे, अगर आप डिजिटल डिटॉक्स कर रहे हो तो we would love to, I would love to join the session.
डेफिनेटली
How to?
मैम, इन
Thank
आर
you.
upcoming webinars, definitely keep this in mind and we'll bring some strategies also.
हाँ जी, thank you so much. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, it's actually taking a lot of time, and I guess it's getting late for many people also. So we are winding up this session. So please join our WhatsApp community, and we have noted down the request of, the one ma'am who just said something. So in short, if I show you, we already have some blog on social media. On our web page. So you can either read this. There are a few strategies like the concerns and all that, why this digital detox is and what are the different strategies that you can implement. You can read this, and plus we'd also guarantee you we would be conducting a particular webinar on digital detox and how to help the learners learn better, avoiding all these distractions and other things also. So that's it from us, I guess. We are winding up this webinar. Thank you everybody for joining.
Thank you so much, sir.
Pleasure, ma'am.